These are all the reasons that I love collecting cards. It's actually bizarre how collecting trading cards, sports cards, are like a weird mix of every interest I have in my life. I don't know why that is, but it somehow captures all my interests. One of the things I love most is I actually just like the collecting and organizing. I organize every element of my life. I've been keeping a journal for the last 20 years. I have the most organized song collection, music, movies, television, my shoe collection. I bring all my collections together. I have it very organized, and so collecting cards really satisfies that need to organize and collect and to put together parameters of which things I'm going to collect. I get a lot of satisfaction over finishing a set or completing a collection. Even if I end up giving them away, I just enjoy the process of putting that collection together and to find that one card that I'm missing out of a set and then going and tracking it down. I get a lot of joy out of that. Something else I really love is all the nostalgia element. I love how collecting cards, it takes me back to certain times in my life, reminds me of my old elementary school friends, my junior high friends, collecting with like my mom and my dad. It's also introduced me to all these new friends. Like I've made so many new friends over the last several years since I started kind of getting more vocal about my collecting. And it's amazing how I've met so many people and made a lot of friends across so many different kinds of backgrounds. And I really like that. Like it's been a really great source of meeting new people and making new friends. Also, I find that cards are like a certain kind of therapy. Like when I sit down and I got like 2 boxes of unopened cards, there's no way to be able to describe that. Like if I'm eating a pizza and I've got some boxes of cards and I'm opening those packs, I chill out from all the anxieties and stresses that we all experience. For some reason, I don't know why, but organizing and opening up packs and just kind of being in that zone is like, it just feels good, man. It just feels good. It feels relaxing and it takes away all the anxieties of my life while I'm enjoying the opening of packs and the organizing of cards. Don't know why, but it is. Something I really like about card collecting is it feels like I'm owning a piece of history. Like when I went and bought my first Mickey Mantle card, which was 1961 Mickey Mantle, I really loved having that card, and it was a beat up card. I mean, it was all frayed and the corners were round, but owning that little piece of history and thinking about what life was like back in 1961 or how much the world has changed since then, and just having that card that I never thought I'd be able to have when I was a kid. I mean, who thought that I'd ever be able to own a Mickey Mantle card when I was a kid? And now here I was holding that card. Just something special about holding a piece of history. Also, I really love the Americana aspect. I love being able to go to different stadiums and to see the cards and the players that I'm seeing on these cards and seeing them in real life. I love the history of card collecting, you know, all the way back in like the 1860s, 1870s, 1880s, and to players, and then connecting to that, to the cards that started in the 1870s, and like the history of printing, the history of advertising, the history of marketing. It all comes together. I find the historical aspects and the American history aspect of it very appealing. I'm really into history. Like I minored in history in college, and I just love the historical aspect of every element of card collecting. And of course, travel. You guys know that I've been all over this country, in fact, all over the world with packs of baseball cards, which is bizarre. But collecting cards gives me a good excuse to go to stadiums or to go to card shops or to go meet up with various people. It's like somehow over the last 20 years, card collecting and traveling became synonymous. So it gives me a reason to kind of go to all these different cities, and I'm only getting started. I have so many ideas for this next year. I also think it's really cool that you can learn more about the players and the sports actually through the cards. I really enjoy reading the backs and learning more about the players, learning more about the sports, so that when I go to the stadiums and I'm watching the games, I know a lot more about each of the players. I don't know how many of you guys have seen the documentary Baseball by Ken Burns, but it is phenomenal. And so collecting cards while watching that show and learning so much about the players and the history of it all, I just find it fascinating. It's like a combination of the present, the past, and travel, and who these people are, and historical backgrounds. And so it's, for me, it's like this investigation. It's like I'm getting my own PhD in sports history, in American history. So it's like this lifelong hobby that I get to learn all these various elements, and then hopefully I get to pass that on to my kids in the future someday, whether they care about it or not. Maybe they just sell it and that's a benefit to them. But that whole process of this being this like lifelong journey and exploration, I find fascinating. I really like the aspirational components of the hobby. I mean, who wouldn't want to have a PSA 10 Mickey Mantle or that SGC 9.5 that just sold last summer? Like, something I've always enjoyed about the hobby since I was a little kid is looking at cards that I can't have and like planning to have them or wanting to have them. And I really like the whole idea of hoping that I can get something someday, but not necessarily that I can, satisfy that urge right away. There's something really nice about aspiring to own something or aspiring to save up for something rather than just being able to always get what you want right then. There's something cool about that. Also, I found that card collecting kind of replaced my need to go to the casinos. Back in like my 20s, I used to like going to casinos and going playing roulette or whatever, but I found that when I got back into trading cards, that the need for going and gambling was satisfied by opening packs of cards. I mean, there is a mad rush, even with old product from like the 80s, of opening packs and finding that one card you were looking for, or that rookie card or whatever, or in modern product, finding that auto refractor. It somehow satisfies that serotonin and dopamine hit from gambling, but in a way I enjoy a lot more. Contrary to popular belief, care about the financial aspect. Like, I like that I can take, cash that I plan on investing and invest them into cards. Even when I was a kid, I enjoyed very much tracking the prices in my Beckett, seeing that Kevin Maas rookie card go up by 20 cents. I enjoyed that prospect. And I enjoy that even now. Like, if I buy a card and the player does really well and I see my price go up, I do get some satisfaction out of that. I'm not gonna lie. I do enjoy the investment element. And I mean, you can't put your 401k on a wall, but you can put your baseball card up on a wall. And I really enjoy putting my money into investing into sports cards. And finally, I really enjoy putting my cards on my wall or on my mantle or at my desk. For me, they're like little pieces of fine art. I like the photography, I like the action shots, I like the pictures, I like the way that the cards are presented as far as different kinds of styles the Topps or Upper Deck have put together to make those cards look beautiful. Yeah, like the Rickey Henderson card, that 1980 rookie, I think it's a perfect baseball card. And putting that on my wall as an art piece, for me, that's fine art. A lot of people would rather have their Picassos or their Monets. Give me that 1980 Rickey Henderson rookie card. That belongs on my wall. And I think it's beautiful. That's why this whole element of everything I've shared is why this hobby has been so important to me so long, is that it incorporates so many different elements of what I enjoy in this life. Not everything. Like, I love racing cars, but I can't have that. Well, I guess I did that one time. But I like how all these different elements of interests of mine come together in a single hobby. And that's why I love collecting cards.